All right. Hey, hello. Good Friday afternoon to you. How the hell are you? It's rainy, cold, and dismal where I am. Well, cold for Florida standards anyway. But I like it. It's nice for a change every once in a while. You know, those Chamber of Commerce days are nice where you get up and it's 75 degrees and horizon to horizon blue sky. But every once in a while you just kind of want that blanket of clouds over you. Just a day where you can put on some 70s light rock or light R&B and dim the lights and just putter around the house and not worry about anything. Put on a nice roast or some chili for supper time. It's all good. It's all good. But anyway, I'm doing just fine myself today. I was not doing fine last night. I mean, personally, I was doing fine last night. I played AD&D last night, and that was fine. But for about 5 or 10 minutes, I was on the second anniversary, the Raised on D&D podcast. I was like a 5-minute guest because he had this entire rainbow of folks, of creators of D&D stuff, and it was weird to be sandwiched in between some of the actual luminaries of the hobby, of the current hobby, you know. And of course I completely fucked things up. There was stuff I wanted to talk about, but what happened was the host, Nick, who is a wonderful person, you really, really should check out the Raised on D&D podcast. You should absolutely check it out. He had everyone coming in and video streaming, and he was using, I don't know, this Facebook meet together, stream together kind of video thing. And he said, I'll send you a link. Now, look, first of all, I want to be 100% clear. This is not me taking any digs at Nick. Nick is a wonderful person, and Raised on D&D podcast is an amazing thing that he's put together, and I love it. I think it's positive and awesome and all. But he had this he had this Facebook meeting get together thing. I could not make my camera connect to it. It was just browser based. And I've done browser based connections before. I can connect my camera up to my browser if I want to use StreamYard. This machine has no problem connecting to Zoom, obviously YouTube, Facebook Live, which I'm on right now. Also, all hunky-dory. Last night, could not connect. Now, Raised on D&D is an audio podcast. I don't have to do cameras. But for his anniversary, he was doing cameras. So, I couldn't get mine to work at all. I was just a voice in a box. And that, cheesed me off. And sitting here in the green room, as it were, for Nick's thing, I'm restarting my PC and restarting my browser and clearing the cache, and Brave, Microsoft Edge, just pure Chrome web browser. Yeah, they were just like, nope, not connecting. Nope, not connecting. And it was just like skull thumpingly frustrating. I finally got the mic to connect, so at least he could hear me. But damn it, was that annoying, and more than a little bit embarrassing. But there was there was more than a few things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to say, yeah, hey, the channel, the YouTube channel, because Nick thinks that I'm still primarily a Facebook streamer. I love my friends who still use Facebook. I think it's wonderful, but primarily this thing's on YouTube, right? So I Nick's like, oh, he has the crazy gibberish live stream on Facebook. And well, I'm on YouTube now too. And I just kind of got distracted because I wanted to mention the convention thing. I mean, we're at 806 subs on YouTube now. We've climbed out of that hole I dug. Apparently, was saying bad things about Critical Role. Or with YouTube deciding to kick some of my subs off. I don't know. However that works. But we're within striking distance of getting to 1,000 subs and having the mini convention. Did I bring that up? No. I stumbled around making droll jokes for like the 3 or 4 minutes I had, and then was off. I was out. So kind of cheesed me off. At myself. The technical issues, that was just, Windows or Chrome. Because Edge, Brave, and obviously Chrome itself, they all use the Chromium engine. Or there's no down in the guts of it. There's no difference, just how it's presented, and none of them would connect up to my camera to my stream feed system. So, yay! And it was kind of but. Going back to what I was saying, it was kind of weird being on a stream like after and before people who have actual like industry credits. I think Chris Pramas was one of the people on the stream, and I'm like, whoa. Dude, you've gone from acclaimed writer, game designer, this person's an author, to dude bro who knows you from back in the day from little local conventions. See, when it comes to being here in, I don't know, I hesitate to even say this, but the RPG industry, I have no earthly idea where I fall, like, on the radar. I don't see a lot of discussion out there about, Bill Sylvie. Like, oh, Bill Sylvie just released his adventure module. And in a lot of ways, I'm okay with that. But at the same time, I wish I had some kind of, I don't know, self-perception is kind of a difficult thing. The only, this is kind of funny. I'm not going to talk about the person who does this. I just think it's funny. The only comprehensive overview of my work in the role-playing game industry is done by this dude who hates classic dungeon crawls, and I think just to be a shit to me personally, slags all my stuff. Like, if you go to RPG Geek, which is a terrible site, by the way, but if you go there, he's got like this encyclopedic review of my body of works, and he slags all of it. Meanwhile, like those fucking awful, I mean, just terrible art punk modules that are like, they're deliberately bad. I honestly think they're just a wind-up designed to soak money from people who want to be seen supporting the right stuff even though the right stuff is terrible. Like he just lavishes praise on those things. So I mean that's literally the only outside perception. It's not like anybody posts back and says, "Hey, no, I played Lost Crypt. You know, I've played his freebie modules. Oh, this is good stuff." So that's literally it. So sitting there in the green room, once I finally got my audio connected and was waiting to sync up, like a couple of the people that preceded me, I was like, these are like legitimately, like, their business is role-playing game stuff. And he asked me, I got on and he's like, "What are you working on?" And I was like, a sequel to Lost Crypt and a sequel to Elemental Moon. Which, I mean, I am, but at the same time, I was like, and one of them's the dude in charge of Green Ronin. Was it the dude in charge? It's a company that's currently. You know what? Let me see here. I don't want to misstate. Yeah, Green Ronin. So, and I guess that was Chris Pramas. Chris, if you're out there, I apologize. I'm not deliberately trying to slag your name, bud. Like you'd be watching. One thing that I found was amusing, though, was in the comment stream. It was a genuine bless your heart moment. And I mean that in the sincere, sweet, bless your heart moment. I don't mean that. Okay, so if you're not from the South and you're not familiar with this, when sarcasm hits its peak in an exchange of words between Southerners or between a Southern person and somebody not from the South, we will tend to say, "Well, bless your heart," at the end of it. Now, you might hear that, like, if you go to like, "Hey, it's Sunday, but we're in Georgia. We'll go to church with Aunt so-and-so," or, whatever. You might be walking through the church and here's, "Well, bless her heart." It's a context thing. In a heated discussion, when a Southerner says, "Well, bless your heart," it's not meant, we're not blessing your heart. Okay? So I don't say, "Well, bless their heart," in that context. It's the overheard at church, bless their heart. But this person, made a comment in the comments. You know what? Let me see if I can find this. Because I want to make sure, and I'm not trying to name and shame. I just thought this was cute. I just thought it was very cute.
There you go. Something happened.
So,
We'll see.
Pause that. Now I gotta find it. Is it back that way? Oh, watch. I'm not going to be able to find it now. Okay, so this person said, OG gaming is good and meaty, and we had Thaco. And I said, "I'm so old school that this was before 2-hit armor class 0. And the person responds, and this was my bless your heart moment: "I didn't realize how far back the old school went till I started researching the history of AD&D in the Forgotten Realms." Wow, all the way back to Forgotten Realms. Well, you are certainly, absolutely just an Indiana Jones. of previous edition D&D, all the way back to Forgotten Realms, you say? Oh, bless your heart. It was just a fun moment. Just a fun moment. We have fun moments coming up on the stream, though. This coming Wednesday, Kyle Schuant will return. He will be ready to live stream, and we're looking forward to that. It's always great to have my co-host back. And I hope his circumstances stabilize such that he can be back every week in the future. Australia is just a political mess right now with how they're handling Andromeda strain, and so it makes things very difficult on him. But he'll be back next Wednesday. But also next Wednesday, will mark the return of special guest, friend, D&D pioneer, and all-around swell guy, Tracy Lesh. Tracy will be back on the show, in effect, in the house, and we're looking forward to that. We haven't had Tracy on in way too long, and it's going to be neat to see Kyle and Tracy on the same stream. So get your questions ready. If you have any questions for Tracy about early D&D artwork production, ask it. And in case you're wondering, yes, that is a piece of art by Tracy Lesh. TSR commissioned some color art, and this is a piece he did for them that they ended up not using because they did other things for early or for late original D&D. We'll ask him. I'm gonna ask him like what that was intended for. It's like that, to me, that would have made a perfect like cover for the basic set for the beginner D&D set, which is not to take away from Dave Sutherland's art at all. Dave Sutherland's Red Dragon cover for the introductory set for Dungeons and Dragons was aces, in my opinion. Is there an index somewhere of all Tracy's art in D&D? Maybe it's in Art and Arcana. Excuse me. Maybe it's laid out in Art and Arcana. It's been a long time since I've cracked Art and Arcana open. Just because it's such a massive tome. I need to break down and just buy one of the inexpensive volumes. I might get one from Barnes & Noble. But no, other than that, as far as I know, you'd have to own the stuff. Now, I can tell you what Tracy's told me where his art is. He did all the art in Boot Hill. He and his father, who was a draftsman, did all the art in Boot Hill. His dad was a huge fan of Westerns, novels, films, what have you. And when he told his dad that he got this, there's my light again. When he told his dad that he got this job to create art for this tabletop war game, and it's set in the Wild West, his dad was very keenly interested in that. So Tracy did all the art in original Boot Hill. He did a number of pieces in supplement to Blackmore. He did all of the illustrations in the original, the OD&D edition of Tomb of Horrors. That's 28 illustrations, and he had 28 days to do them. Or is it 14 illustrations and he had 28 days? But it was a crunch. It was a real crunch. That just off the top of my head, I don't know if he did any work in The Dragon or in Supplement 3. I know he didn't do any in Supplement 4 or Swords and Spells. But I don't know if they used any of his pieces in the Dragon, and that was where he parted ways. You know, we can have a talk with Tracy, and we can ask him about, like, just kind of a refresher of, tell us, like, the whole process, the whole story, like when did it start, and was it like, don't send us any more artwork? Was it so long and thanks for all the fish, or was it just you know, a wall of silence? Say, hey, I've got more art. Nothing. Tracy was living in Lake Geneva at that time, and what a time, you know, what a time that must have been. So yeah, we will ask Tracy about that. If he can give us an actual breakdown on what he did as far as individual art pieces. Looking forward to that. But anyway. You guys are awful quiet out there today. Is my audio on? Can you hear me? So things are going to get busy for me. I was talking about next week. What's going on next week in the show? Thursday and Friday of next week will be late night streams from me. And there'll be late night streams for me because we're going on vacation. It's more of a staycation for me. So don't really want to launch into exactly where I'll be and exactly what I'll be doing, but you know, my streams will be in the later evening. Oh, hello, Gabber. Good to see you. Damien, hello. How are things in the continent right now, Gabber? I hope they're well. Gabber Lux, everyone, who's a great guest to have on. You know, normally I won't say, hey, you should go back and check out such and such live stream, but you really really should go check out a good live stream that I did with Gabber. It was fantastic. We were accompanied by commuter trains. I thought they were aircraft. I thought they were low-flying aircraft, but they were commuter trains. But hello. So what is everyone doing as far as the holidays go and gaming? Every year for the past number of years now, gosh, I guess it's past 6 or 7, when I've had an AD&D game, I always do a holiday AD&D game. And I tell you, it's a lot of fun. And in lieu of actual gifts that I can pass out to people, I'll give their characters things in the games. It's like, I can't give you a stack of platinum coins, but I got no problem giving you giving your character a stack of platinum coins or something like that. And I always try to wrap it up with a holiday themed adventure. Now I tend to be kind of an ecumenical guy. I don't lean very heavily on, we're gonna have you guys explore the real meaning of Christmas, because I understand not everybody has exactly the same mores as I do, and I don't want to. I don't want to make them uncomfortable. I'm completely comfortable in my beliefs, but to quote the great Buckaroo Banzai, people are going to come from all over. So what I can promise my players is, come the holidays, I do a pretty fun game. A pretty fun holiday game. Do you guys do any holiday gaming? I know that Volcano God used to do a Halloween game. Well, I shouldn't say used to, like he won't ever again or he doesn't anymore. He runs a good Halloween game. Closing down the weekend house over the next 2 days and heading back home. Still had an outdoors game last Sunday, playing the great Forgotten Grottos of the Sea Lords. I haven't played Forgotten Grottos of the Sea Lords. That's an interesting one. But no, the holiday games are fun and interesting, and I look forward to playing zoned out. I'm a little sleepy today. Like I said, it's a sleepy kind of rainy day. But no, I'm looking forward to playing the holiday game with my players. Volcano Gus, I like doing Christmas horror one-shots. Yeah, last year we did what was it? Horror on the Polar Express. Was that was good. 2 characters killed, 1 revived with a bit of quick thinking, a flail plus 3 lost, and a magic ring game. Well, that sounds cool. No spoilers, but it really is a good one. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. There is a lack of some of the better old school modules in my library. See, I'm a physical copy kind of guy. I'm right there with Kyle, where like people won't look at a PDF. People will curate PDF collections of stuff. But if you give them something physical in their hands, they'll definitely look through it, if for no other reason than to steal a map or pinch a few ideas. But a physical copy can be a very good impetus to getting people to enjoy it. So I'll have to check that out. I'll definitely have to check that out. But anyway, back to my own Christmas games. Well, I'll just tell you guys, it's just a free and open Friday. You guys don't have any questions for me, so I'll just fly this out here. The first Christmas game I ever ran, the party was camping out on a level of dungeon, and they spiked the door, they set various watches and that sort of thing, and they were roughing it in the dungeon. And I just said, you wake up the next morning, there's a fire in the hearth of this room. This was like a common room that monsters had used or something. There's a fire in the hearth. There's this gaily decorated tree. Across the mantle over the hearth, there's what can be described as stockings bulging with items, and they were all very happy about it. They thought it was very sweet. It was the Christmas room. They came back later and like all that stuff was gone. I mean, they took their presents. I gave them each little gifts in their stockings, their characters' gifts in their stockings. The next year, I ran an actual like you're shifted through time and space kind of Christmas adventure. It was like 3 mini adventures in a medieval town that was not in Greyhawk. One, they had to fight a gingerbread cookie monster. They went inside a gingerbread village diorama that had been destroyed night after night, despite the fact the baker would bake it and put it back together. And it turns out one of the gingerbread men would become enchanted like a golem and smash the town and terrorize the gingerbread people. The other was putting down some undead that had risen up in the local church graveyard. I don't remember exactly what the Christmas connotation was, but I made it work somehow. And then there was a third one that I forget for that one. But the one trope that I developed over time that I've stuck with ever since then. If you're familiar with A Midsummer's Tempest by Poul Anderson, there is a space and time traveling inn that is, the inn itself shifts through time and space, called the Old Phoenix. Well, I took the idea of the Old Phoenix and put it into my AD&D games. The innkeeper and his wife have been at differing ages and remembered things that the party themselves don't remember doing, or don't remember having seen the party like a previous time. It moves around in its own angles to time and space. And I have this place show up every time around Christmas. The party travels to the Old Phoenix, and there's some sort of Christmas shenanigans that pop up, or an adventure just specific to Christmas that culminates with Christmas things. 2 years ago, the party actually went to the Old Phoenix, and a couple of esteemed guests, well, a trio of esteemed guests had gone missing. And the innkeeper of the Old Phoenix said, could you go out into this strange country that we've now teleported into and see if you can locate them? So they went out traipsing through the snow. They encountered a herd of terrible Christmas tree monsters, which I borrowed from Beyond Zork. I was railing about Zork and playing Guess What I'm Thinking, but Christmas tree monsters were just too hilarious. The solution for getting past the Christmas tree monsters in Beyond Zork is to sing Christmas carols at them and make them move. The party couldn't figure out how to get past them, and I tend to run the Christmas games most of the time as non-lethal. I mean, killing somebody at a Christmas party just ain't cool. If the players in question are just dumb as post, yeah, sorry, no saving throw, no, like, make 3 death saves, and if you fail, no. If they screw up hard, if they screw up really hard, they dead. Well, the Christmas tree monsters definitely could have done bad things to them. But somebody said, hey, we could try singing. And I said, what was that? And they said, yeah, we could try singing. So I told my players, and we have a couple of skilled musicians in the group. I said, look, if you guys, don't tell me your players are doing, or don't tell me your characters are doing this. If you guys can sing a Christmas carol all together on Discord, I'll give it a chance to work. So all the players sang "Oh Christmas Tree," and it was the most discordant mess, not because of them. like I said, there are talented musicians and singers in my group. 12 players, that's going to happen. You're going to have people who can actually carry a tune or play an instrument with that many people. So I said, make this happen, and it may work. Discord, however, sends data packets at different rates depending on how far people are from servers and what bandwidth they have. So I had this very jangly rendition of "Oh Christmas Tree," and it was so sweet that I was like, it works. It worked. The Sea of Christmas Trees part, and you're able to leave. Well, the people that they rescued, the esteemed guests, were Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, and Frank Sinatra. So they came back. I played some classic Christmas music. I gave out some XP because they did actually, I think they fought, did they fight ogres or did they fight an ogre mage? I don't remember. But they actually did fight monsters at some point and get some of their treasures. They made it back to the old Phoenix, slept in, healed up. Sleeping a night in the old Phoenix, particularly at Christmas, all your hit points come back. It's just that magical of a place. And then I gave out little Christmas gifts for them in addition to the XP and so on. So that's how I roll for Christmas time in my games. I run specific Christmas games. And I used to, and I got to hand it to Joshua Ford in my game. Because this is his second and a half year coming up gaming with us. And this is just, I guess, poor DMing on my part. But I struggled for the longest time with how do I fit a visit to the old Phoenix Inn in the middle. Because last year, the party was exploring White Plume Mountain at Christmas time. I'm like, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to run the Christmas game, but you guys are in the middle of White Plume Mountain and yada, yada, yada. And then Josh had an idea, and it was just like, of course. And, I think this idea is something, when I explain it to you, I think you'll understand what I mean. This is something you can, and indeed should use for side adventures. He said, well, just do it like an annual. Like if you've read comic books, you get you get an annual issue that things happen in it that don't necessarily pertain to what happens anywhere else in the main line of the comics. It's not, it's like, issue 166, annual issue 167, the events in 166 that branch over to 167 never reference the annual, despite the fact that it came out in the same month. And, in issue 166, the entire superhero team can be in the submarine that's stuck at the bottom of the ocean and it's slowly flooding, and how are they going to get out of it? And then in the annual, they're all on vacation in California. And then in 167, it just picks right back up. So that's the way I go with it. If the party is in a place where they can't just walk out to and explore the old Phoenix Inn, then that's how, that's how I roll with it. It's just an annual. It is a great tradition. Yeah, Christmas tree monsters. You will get trampled and stabbed with tree branches and sliced with broken ornaments and everything. Christmas tree monsters are not to be screwed with. Let me see. find this link here real quick. And if you come back and watch this on Facebook, you can check that out. Christmas tree monsters are luminous vegetables that roam freely amid the glacial valleys of the south and migrate during autumn when the trees cheerfully trample everything in their path. Christmas tree monsters are repelled by caterpillars, but nobody can explain why. The most recent sighting of these creatures was in blah blah Zork timeline, when a horde of 69,105 of the creatures defended on the Thrift village. The village was temporarily protected by magic glyphs designed by the enchanter Orcan and inscribed in the snow. A more permanent solution was found after a nearby volcanic eruption damaged the horde, and a glyph was inscribed in the cooling lava, which kept the remaining monsters at bay. And then there's a little picture of them from the game. It's actually from the Zork little booklet that comes with Beyond Zork. But I just thought they were too fun. But again, as I said, I'm not a huge fan of text adventures in general, but I'll crib ideas from anywhere. Steve, other than Volcano Gods, Christmas horror one shots, do you guys do anything special for your groups in the holidays? People have suggested, like, look, if you're a fan of my stuff and you like listening, I'm gonna break your heart just a little bit about something. I'm not running a game with Krampus. All right. Or evil Santa Claus. Or Santa Bot from whatever it is, Futurama, where, oh, no, Santa actually punishes people. I'm not doing that, okay? My Christmas games are light and sweet and just very nice. So, no, I'm not going to come back and talk about a Krampus story or anything like that. Not really done a holiday game. Most of the groups I've been in have taken time. Yeah, and that's something I reached out to my group. Like I was thinking about that. We are officially we are lined up on target. Like we're not just roaming around the ocean now with our our holiday bomb load looking for the Christmas fleet. We are lined up on target. They are just they're just on the horizon there now for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. I guess it's a bad analogy. Did I just suggest that we should bomb Christmas? Anyway, no. It's not now just a question. Oh yeah, Chris. No, it's like this is the run up. You hit Halloween. Halloween kicks off the holiday season. Then you got Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Although New Year's is just more of a scheduling thing. I get it that people, you celebrate New Year's Eve. And then New Year's Day is generally bowl games and getting over your hangover if you're not a football fan, a college football fan anyway. But we're on that final downhill run to the holidays. So I reached out to my players and I'm like, y'all tell me what your schedules are going to be like, because I don't, I don't want to, I don't want to miss the the window and just say, yeah, well, I figure lots of people aren't going to be there, so I just won't bother. No, I'm gonna, I'm gonna run a full bore AD&D game if most of my players are going to be there, and fortunately, it looks like I'm going to have most of my players there. To me, like when people say, "Oh, what can we do for Christmas as a group?" Play D&D is a huge, huge gift to me. And I get it one night a week, every week of the year, just about, unless I'm ill or the majority of my group. I mean, the vast majority of my group can't be there. Like 9 of 12 players. And even if I had 3, if they all wanted to play, I would say, okay, let's play some OD&D, 3D6, down the line, in order, pick some equipment. Here's the adventure you're going on, But the group that I have is A, large enough, and B, wants to participate enough that, yeah, aside from a couple of people here and again not being able to make it, we'll be playing D&D. Now, one of these nights, I'm sure soon, Christmas will fall on a Monday night. Christmas Eve will be Monday night, or Christmas, Monday will be Christmas Day. And when that happens, will the group want to play? I don't know. We'll just deal with it then. I will be open to whatever they wish to do. But having those people, even though it's only in a virtual sense, having those people around my virtual table makes me happy. Maximus says, I'll be DMing for my son when he gets home from college in December, continuing our Greyhawk campaign. Well, that's awesome. That's the way you do that. I'm guessing he goes to Indiana, Hoosier. Is that right? Or is that Illinois? I apologize. I don't. I think that's the IU logo there on your screen. I'm sorry. I have like a jumbo laptop screen is the size of the monitor that I use. I don't even know if you got. Yeah, that's the size of display I have, not my dual 27s over at my workstations there. So it's next to impossible for me to see like exacting details. Like if I didn't know what it was and you asked me to describe what mine is, I would say like, it's a letter A with a couple of wavy arms. I picked up my monitor and set it down on my mouse cord. Gibberish says, we sometimes play between Christmas and New Year's, but this time is more likely to be spent writing adventures for later use next to a cup of tea. Well, that's good too. It's a relaxing, quiet time. There we go. But that's what I have in store for the holidays, and I'm looking forward to the Christmas game. It's funny. A few weeks ago, I guess, end of September, beginning of October, I mentioned to my players that we're getting close to Christmas, and my buddy Jeff, hi Jeff, who's in the group, it made him very cranky. He was like, "We are not near Christmas. It's still just the end of summer." So, sorry, dude. But you have to, let me tell you something. I used to work retail. Years and years and years ago, I worked retail. I sold records, sold music. And when I got into corporate retail, we knew Christmas was coming because our September shipments were Christmas CDs. We upstocked Christmas stock. We had these massive shelves in our back room. And we had crates and crates and crates and crates and crates of Christmas releases. Christmas movies on Laserdisc and videotape, Christmas cassettes, Christmas music CDs, novelty Christmas songs that were going to be coming out. All of that stuff came into, it's 100 degrees plus out in the parking lot as we're loading this stuff off of trucks. And, there's all this Christmas stuff coming, and it would sit there and stare at you. Big red labels on the side of the boxes, Sony Christmas CDs within case lots, blah. And to the outside observation, it's like, well, why not just get that stuff in like right after Thanksgiving? No. People start buying that stuff like immediately. They want to have their Christmas music ready to go. They don't want to wait till almost Christmas. So all that stuff is in the back of stores. It's like, you go into a store, you're like, Halloween just ended. You got your Christmas stuff up already? Yeah, all that product was here back in August and September. But overexposure to it can kind of kill the Christmas spirit, right? You don't want to saturate in it too long. You don't want to feel come, by like, say, early November, you're just burned out. You don't want that. So yeah, I got scolded by Jeff, and rightly so. Christmas will come at its appointed time. But anyway, so that's the Christmas plans. I thought about incorporating Christmas into other RPGs that I've run, but nothing ever really fit. Like the BattleTech universe, for example, like when you're light years from Earth, can you really be said to be celebrating Christmas on December 25th? And frankly, celebrating Christmas in the game Twilight 2000 is just too dismal to contemplate. It's like, hey, you made it back to America. Congratulations. You want to go live in that partially demolished building? Maybe we can scavenge the ruins of Christmas decorations from the half-collapsed department store up the highway. The one that the ones that haven't been looted yet. Yeah, but Christmas in D&D can be a pretty fun time. So Monday, we'll return to form. I'll talk some more about AD&D. We'll talk about some more D&D history. I think that kind of caught on maybe a little bit yesterday. We'll talk a little bit more about D&D history, and we'll have some insight about it from Tracy Lesh. Tracy Lesh will be our guest next Wednesday. Next Thursday and Friday, the streams will be later in the evening because I'll be here, but I'll be doing stuff through the day, Thursday and Friday. Like I said, it's a staycation. So I will be here. The live streams will come late Thursday night and late Friday night. And we'll have fun with those. Of course, next week you'll get your AD&D game wrap-up will come. When I'll tell you guys all about the fun stuff we did in the Monday night game. And those get posted onto, not Facebook, not Twitter. What's the other one? Reddit. My post-game write-ups get posted to Reddit. People seem to like them okay-ish. I mean, I get like an average of 11 thumbs ups on them, but it's never any more than that. I don't know how Reddit's scoring system works. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, people say, oh, this got 16,000 likes on Reddit. Well, you know, my game summary posts get like a dozen. It's like I hit a mean level and it never goes beyond that. Volcano God said, inspired to make a Land of Black Ice Christmas one shot. There you go. I think a Land of Black Ice Christmas would be fun. But anyway, so that's Monday coming up. We'll return to talking about that. We'll talk to Tracy some about it. We've got the game catching up on Tuesday or Thursday evening. Kyle will be here on Wednesday with Tracy. Tuesday, AD&D live stream, playing AD&D on Tuesday, and that's going to be fun. So you guys will want to be here for that. I'm going to try, knock on wood, I'm going to try to get the camera working and get some miniatures out on that table. So hopefully that'll work, and I'll test that out and we'll see what's going on with it. That about does it for me today, guys. I've just kind of meandered from one topic to another. Y'all have an absolutely wonderful afternoon. If you're here in Central Florida, stay dry. It's pouring rain. And if you're not, wherever you are, stay warm. Hope you get some rain. Just whatever it is you do. But thank you all for hanging out with me today and listening to me just ramble and babble. It's the Crazy Gibberish is the name of my live stream, folks. So it's just going to happen. Thank you, Gabber, Maximus, Damien, and Volcano God. Thank you all for being here today in the audience. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone's participation. I appreciate everyone that's out there pushing, promoting the website, talking about it, getting people to sub. Because remember, 1,000 subs equals a convention. 1,000 subs on YouTube's. 1,000 subs on YouTube. And we're going to have that mini convention, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So y'all have an absolutely fantastic day. Peace. Take care. And I'll see you all on Monday. Bye-bye.